Hey, why don't we do a video about the village?
Greenfield Village?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
Well, hello there, pair of peeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
Today we are here at Greenfield Village.
That's right. You got it right, too.
So we're going to share with you some of our adventures today. We're going to go out throughout the village, have a bunch of B-roll, maybe some little things in and out, and all that other stuff like that. But before we get into that, if you're into the paranormal, history, forensic, and travel type videos,
don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ding that little bell so you hear from us next time we post a new video.
All right, let's get going.
Adjoining the Henry Ford Museum is Greenfield Village, a collection of nearly 100 historic homes and buildings on a 200-acre site in Dearborn, Michigan that continues to grow to this day. It was established in 1933 by industrialist Henry Ford, who relocated and reconstructed buildings there from throughout the United States. The village includes the birthplaces, homes, or workplaces of Ford, William Holmes McGuffey, Noah Webster, Luther Burbank, and Wilbur and Orville Wright. Also featured are Thomas A. Edison's laboratory from Menlo Park, New Jersey, several locomotives, and representatives of English and early American homes, public buildings, and craft shops. The origin and thought of creating the village stems from the notice in 1919 that Ford's childhood home had to either be moved 200 feet or destroyed completely in order to make room for a road improvement project. Henry Ford decided to move the home to Greenfield Village and restore it to as much detail as he could, dating back to when his mother passed away. From tracking down an original stove model to having the property excavated where the house originally sat in order to get the china pattern his mother had and have it remade, Henry Ford put in meticulous efforts to have the house restored as original as possible. This began Henry Ford's quest to save and restore and preserve these iconic homes and buildings that now call Greenfield Village their home.
You know, my friends, that sometimes Sean and Marianne go out on these adventures and they just leave me here at home and forget about me. Well, this time I'm going to focus my energy and haunt this video to let you know about the paranormal activity at some of these buildings as they cover them in this video. I will be popping in from time to time to let you know the documented paranormal claims from a former employee that worked at the village. These claims relate to buildings after they have been moved to the village.
Carry on introducing today as a working roundhouse with the 3 coal-fired locomotives.
Oof. Who are these people?
breaks over the top, and that creates the vacuum, and you'll see it rise as if by magic. There are no wires, there are no levers underneath, only the force of the wind. A little bit of air pressure, a little bit of flipping in the back. More air pressure, and it rises like magic. Again, Wilbur and Orville Wright were the first people in history to come up with that shape of wing, based on their own experiments.
Though the Wright family moved around, brothers Wilbur and Orville always thought of this house, originally located at 7 Hawthorne Street in Dayton, Ohio, as home. Orville was born here in 1871, and Wilbur died here in 1912. It was also here that the brothers began their serious studies in aviation, work that led to their successful 1903 Wright Flyer. The apparition of a woman has been seen in the house. The feeling of being touched has been reported throughout the building. Footsteps have been heard coming down the stairs. A woman's voice has been heard, and a black mist has been seen coming out of the wall.
Most people collect like little artifacts and things like that. We were at the Henry Ford Museum yesterday, but Henry Ford liked to collect bigger things like houses and homes and buildings. Like this house right here was the home of his favorite teacher.
Yeah, and right across the other direction is the William Holmes McGuffey from around our area, schoolhouse and home.
So is that from the McGuffey reader?
Yes, it is.
Comes the bus. Number 350. 330.
Was born in this modest Baptist parsonage in a bustling rural village in 1878. His column, Today's Talk, appeared in newspapers across the country. It was influenced by his religious upbringing, and its inspirational tone appealed to the average American. There is some paranormal activity related to this building, my friends. It is reported that someone was heard running into the house and up the stairs, yet nobody was there after investigation. Connecticut home, Noah Webster finished the first dictionary of the American English language. The house changed hands, serving as a private residence and dormitory for more than a century before coming to Greenfield Village in 1936. Some of the paranormal claims related to this building include horses being spooked and will not travel past the house. An apparition of a man has been reported in the building. Camera batteries have suddenly drained while people are taking photos. Odd, unexplained noises, including crying and screaming, have been reported. And ghostly apparitions have been seen by former employees.
Louisa.
Wait, she had 2 beds?
Oh, yeah. Mental disability. I mean, look at how wide these hallways are. I mean, this is gorgeous. Oh, I like this bed. Fireplace. This was a guest chamber.
So what happened? Anything?
No.
No. So what happened the last time you were in there?
Last time I was in there, my camera stopped working, and I changed the batteries, and it still wouldn't work. So I don't know.
Not this time.
Not this time.
I don't know if we told him. That's the Noah Webster house.
That's right, where he wrote the Webster, or finished the first Webster's dictionary.
First American dictionary. Not encyclopedia like I heard somebody say. It's the Webster dictionary. Okay. But nothing happened this time.
Not this time.
The former home of New Hampshire's first Secretary of State was originally built by John Giddings in Exeter, New Hampshire in 1751. Giddings was a prosperous merchant and shipbuilder who lived there with his wife and their 5 children. On December 22nd, 1790, it became the home of New Hampshire's first Secretary of State, Joseph Pearson, who inside this house married Captain Giddings' daughter, Dorothy, in April of 1795. As far as the paranormal claims within this house, my friends, an employee was closing up one night, and as he walked inside the door to check to make sure everything was secure, he heard conversations coming from the seating room. But as he approached, the conversation stopped and nobody was there. When he turned to leave, he heard them say, "He's leaving now." conversation began again. He just locked up the building and left for the evening. Samuel Daggett built this outpost structure sometime between 1746, when 40 acres of land was deeded to him by his father, and 1758, the year he married his wife, Anna Bushnell. Like other farm families living in northeastern Connecticut in the 1760s, the Daggetts made and grew many of the things they needed. Along with farming, Samuel Daggett was also a house builder and furniture maker. There are many paranormal claims surrounding this building, such as the ropes inside the house have been known to swing by themselves. Staff members have reported feeling being watched when they are alone in the house, and have felt children tugging on them when no children are around. The most interesting claim of this building is that of a staff member who reported being saved by an unknown force as she was falling down the stairs.
So a lot of these houses here at Greenfield Village, did I get that right?
You did. I'm so proud of you.
I found a report from a former employee that used to work here, and some of these houses do have paranormal claims. This is one of them, and that's why we wanted to come up here and get better footage of some of these houses so that we can you know, kind of get that all documented and cleaned up and everything. But the claims here is that they hear a soldier or somebody walking up and down this porch here, which, you know, we had to come back, had to get it, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Edison led his family into Upper Canada in 1811. He settled in Vienna, Ontario, near the shore of Lake Erie. In 1816, their log cabin was replaced by this homestead, the first and for many years the only frame structure in the region. In this home, the father of the great inventor Samuel grew to manhood and married Nancy Elliott, the village schoolteacher, in the Sunday parlor in 1828. When his arrest was sought because of his participation in a political rebellion of 1837, the house was ransacked by the military. By that time, Samuel Edison had fled to the United States. Young Tom had returned to his ancestral home over many summers and fondly recalled the large, simple farm-type kitchen. This home was moved to Greenfield Village in 1933. As far as the paranormal activity, my friends, people have reported strange electromagnetic fields. An apparition of a man has been seen outside the building, standing in the rain, staring at the house, and a shadow figure has been seen moving through the parlor. This house, built in 1870, originally stood near the laboratory where Thomas Edison and his men toiled in Menlo Park, New Jersey. Widowed in 1877, Aunt Sally, as Sarah was known, lived in Newark and was sent for in 1878 by her distant relative, Thomas Edison, to run a place for his workers to eat and sleep. With little employment opportunity, my friends, for women, Mrs. Jordan accepted the offer and opened the home as a boarding home that same year. There are a few paranormal claims for this location, including the clock that does not work on Sarah Jordan's side of the home has been known to chime on its own. And there's also the apparition of a man with a dark beard, white shirts, and red suspenders who has been seen looking out one of the top windows.
Made 200 of these. Only 9 of them exist in the world today. Greenfield Village owns 4 of them, and we demonstrate it here every day of the year. But it simply works by vibration. So as you speak, them invisible sound waves that travel through the air create vibrations. So Edison just stuck a diaphragm here. It's clear. It's kind of like plastic, but actually it's mica mineral. With that needle, you can see it right there, right in the middle. So as you speak into it, the diaphragm vibrates with your voice vibrations, and then the needle makes an indentation, like hills and valleys, onto the tin foil. It doesn't cut all the way through, it's not that sharp, but it actually, like say, hills and valleys. So I'm going to record. Does anybody know the first recorded words in human history?
Was it Mary had a little?
Yep, Mary had a little lamb, the nursery rhyme. That's what Edison chose for some reason. He did have small children here at Menlo Park, so that probably was on his mind. So I have to scream into it, so forgive me. Hello! Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Ha ha! And he did add a ha ha at the end. That's not part of the original nursery. And then you simply rewind it back to the beginning. And you can see the recording I made onto it, the indentations of my voice vibrations. And rewind it back to the beginning. And the needle will ride in them grooves and kick back out my voice. With the bigger state-of-the-art technology back in 1880, the megaphone. I started with hello. Yeah, you can kind of make that out. It still works pretty decent for 1878. Every year Edison worked on it, the rest of his life it got better every year. Selling home entertainment devices to the public was where all the money was at. Beautiful cabinets, artwork. You know, the electricity came out after a while in 1930. The vinyl record. Sony and iTunes will tell you they still make a fortune selling music to the public. People love paying money for music. So the phonograph all started with this tin foil. It's just a sheet of tin foil, just like aluminum. But again, this was never for sale. It was too crude, but they rapidly improved upon it, figured out how to make money on it, you might say.
What was the source of the tin foil?
He actually had, tin was widely available in the 1880s, not aluminum, tin was. So he had his, Edison knew everybody in New York, manufacturers and stuff, so he contracted that out, a friend of his, to make sheets of tin foil for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go down to the convenience store and buy
No, only a shop could make them, but he would do concert halls, exhibitions, state fairs, charge people 10 cents and 20 cents to hear it. And people gladly paid it. Nobody could believe a machine could actually replicate the human voice until they actually heard it.
Thomas Edison was Henry Ford's lifelong hero, and as adults were very close friends. And when Mr. Ford formed the idea for Greenfield Village, he knew he wanted to pay tribute to his greatest of all inventors. What better way to do this than to restore the factory, where so many of his greatest inventions took place? In March of 1928, Ford began the restoration process. He wanted to reconstruct the Menlo Park complex where Edison and his skilled helpers worked at inventing the future from the years 1876 to 1886, and he wanted to do it in every minute detail. The building was almost demolished as it sat in its original location. Henry Ford took painstaking efforts to collect as much of the original boards and structure as possible, even excavating the property to recover artifacts and original items. Once everything was brought to Dearborn and reconstructed inside the brand new Greenfield Village, Ford had the building complex aligned in the same direction orientation as they were in New Jersey, and even included carloads of New Jersey clay from the original grounds. Now, as far as paranormal activity throughout this complex, and especially in the Menlo Park workshop, doors have been known to open by themselves, and footsteps have been heard late at night, upstairs and coming down the steps when nobody is there.
Originally planned on stopping in the post office of the village and sending postcards to all of our Patreon supporters, since the village does have its own post office and zip code. We sent ourselves a postcard back in 2017 when we visited, and we thought it would be a great way to show our gratitude to our supporters. The night before, we made sure we had everyone's addresses with us so that when we went to the village, we would have them. However, when we finally got to the post office, it was closed. We'll have to try again some other time.
Firestone Farm was originally built by Peter Firestone in 1828 in Columbiana, Ohio, and is now a gem among gems inside Greenfield Village. Among the family members living there in the latter half of the 19th century was young Harvey Firestone, the grandson of Peter, who would later gain fame and fortune in the tire industry and become close friends with Henry Ford. This building and barn, my friends, is one of the most actively reported paranormal spots within the village. Some of the claims include strange thumps and noises are often heard coming from the second floor. The drying rod on the stove has been seen to move on its own several times. People have heard the rocking chairs rock by themselves on the second floor. Conversations have been heard when nobody else is in the building. Women's voices have been heard in the kitchen, and footsteps have been heard on the second story of the barn.
Alright, well, we hope you enjoyed that video. This place is huge. There's all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah,
Little sad about the post office. Oh well.
a lot sad about the post office, but hey, not as sad as I am about the railroad station in Gettysburg.
Yeah. Alright, anything else you'd like to add?
No, just that we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Okay, till next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting. Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting.